What's up, y'all? It's Marcellus Wiley, that dude. Let's talk about what y'all talking about, which is FS1 and where do they go from here. We know they're in that competition with ESPN on the daily for your eyeballs. But what will they do to reshuffle the deck to make sure you guys tune in? It's been a long journey, been a windy road for them to try and finally surpass ESPN. Will they ever be able to do it? And will this new lineup that they're proposing actually do it? We all know about the layoffs that just happened to 3 of their 5 daily programs. So now we're going to go into all of the rumors and all of the conversations happening as they're reshuffling in that deck. I got some intel on this, and I will drop some dimes. But before we do all that, make sure you guys support this channel by subscribing, support the community by leaving your email at projecttransition.org. Be a part of our global giving community. Thank you. Be a volunteer to help these kids and their experiences that we give them through mentorship and our skills camps. Or if you want to do more, be a donor. Do the most and become a gym member, a giver every month, like Daniel Morales is. And he's a great gym member, 4-figure gym member. And he also has this book coming to his doorstep. I want to make sure I say your name like I did Daniel Morales. Be a part of our global giving community. Now, let's all be a part of FS1 as they're taking us to new levels. So where does FS1 go next after latest implosion? We're going to do some speed reading right here, but I'm going to fill in the blanks. I'm going to color this in, as they say, no pun intended. So let's get into it. FS1 blew up almost its entire daytime lineup less than a year after its latest attempt to challenge ESPN failed. So what's next? So that's the interesting thing. Like, you know, when you play in sports, they always say, at first, at least until like the late 90s, I used to always hear when I play sports, we got to go beat them. You know, I played for Inglewood as a little kid. You got to go beat them, beat Carson. And then all of a sudden, you know, you get to high school, Westchester, St. Monica, you got to go beat them. And then I get to college, Columbia, we got to go beat Harvard, you know. Then you get to the pros and they stop saying it. You know what they start saying? We can't beat ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, your opponent is not really out there. It's in here. And a lot of times you create more adversity, more issues and obstacles for yourself when you create too many opponents, especially when your greatest opponent is yourself. So challenging ESPN, just get FS1 right. And they had it. A lot of people would say a few years ago they had it. You know, when you think about Undisputed leading the charge with Colin Cowherd, you had it. I'm not even going to talk and pat myself on the back with Whitlock in our show, even though it was doing well. I am saying they had something. They were coming. That was getting close. But we're here now. Okay, so look at the faces here. Obviously, Paul Pierce, PP, Keyshawn Johnson, that dog, my dog, Joy Taylor, Skip Bayless, Craig Carton, Shannon Sharp, and Emmanuel Acho. Let's get it. FS1 launched more than 10 years ago seeking to move ESPN off its perch as the worldwide leader in sports. Remember that? That's when they paid Colin and Skip Bayless big-time money to come over there and start that network, and they did their duty. But that evaporated. So now we got to look at their portfolio, and a lot of Fox properties are just live sporting events, okay? But as far as its daytime lineup and going head-to-head with ESPN and leading this daily sports conversation in America, that's been another story altogether. As far as its relevancy outside live sports goes, the dream seems to have completely capitulated as FS1 is now becoming a graveyard of original content. Yeah, I guess this is one of the cemeteries. This is one of the plots in the cemetery. Yeah, they killed off some good stuff. Let's just say that. The cancellation of Breakfast Ball, the facility, and speaks to the failure of the network to create any programs that have stuck outside of his 2 remaining pillars in Colin Cowherd and Nick Wright. Now, remember I told you guys videos ago, maybe a year ago, I told you, internally, Nick Wright was the dude. Colin is going to be Colin. Colin is going to be fine with FS1, without FS1, so they try to keep Colin there, even though he started the volume and they hated that. But what can you do? I'm Colin Cowherd. You better recognize. So he flexed. Nick Wright has not flexed like that, even though now Nick Wright is on the volume because Fox's audio department didn't go as well as advertised, right? So it's just better opportunity if you were Colin in the volume. So he actually did a better thing in terms of the podcast digital space than FS1 so far, right? So Nick Wright jumps ship and he's with Colin. You can't touch Colin, you can't touch his boy. That's Nick Wright. But they always wanted Nick Wright to be next. Well, Nick Wright is trying to make next right now. So the Herd and First Things First are the only programs that will now have survived 2 cycles of reinventing the entire FS1 daily lineup. And it's going to stay that way, right? As long as Colin is killing it, which he is, and FS1 is going to look at First Things First in the same respect because that's the best show on TV. In 2024, the breakup of Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp from Undisputed led to a Fox reshuffle. In place of the Carton Show came Breakfast Ball with Craig Carton joining Mark Schlereth and Danny Parkins. And that show, let's just say they didn't have the same kind of love for that creation of that show. So therefore, that show was on thin ice from hello. And Craig Carton didn't really take to a lot of people, or a lot of people didn't take to Craig Carton, whatever it may be, not doing great in the ratings. Remember those early reports, how bad it was, all that? Mark Schlereth is a great talent, but more importantly, they love him for his commentating on the games, live games. And Danny Parkins is a dude. You might as well add now Colin Cowherd, then you go Nick Wright, and then you're going to say Danny Parkins. And that kind of like trilogy lineage, like we together, they little crew. Watch them. In place of, and Danny Parkins is staying on with Fox FS1. No teasers here. We just going to get to it. In place of Undisputed came The Facility with a football-focused show led by Emmanuel Acho with Chase Daniel, James Jones, and LaShawn McCoy. Okay, now y'all know that all came about, and I told you guys, because Joy and Emmanuel Acho were doing Speak with LaShawn McCoy, right? Emmanuel got LaShawn McCoy in the door. That was his dude. He loved him. I mean, more than loved him, like kind of looked up to him as a teammate, as a great player, etc. They had a real good relationship. If you noticed how they always commentated, it was like Shady, Shady, Shady. He always went to Shady, right? Like that was his big bro, it seemed like, in that respect. But it was started off with just them three. Then Emmanuel and Joy, let's just say oil and water instead of before where it was just baby oil. Like, I got good jokes. Become a gym member with Project Transition. As a giver every month, small gifts have a big impact in creating real change. Not only will you transform lives, you'll also win and unlock once-in-a-lifetime experiences. Join me, Marcellus Wiley, in making a real impact through Project Transition, a global giving community dedicated to uplifting underserved youth with mentorship, education, and access to real opportunities. Your donation doesn't just enter you to win unforgettable prizes and exclusive experiences with myself and other gym members. It fuels our mission to empower the next generation of leaders, dreamers, and game changers. From after-school programs, life skills camps, and career development, every dollar helps unlock potential where it's needed most, and where every person makes a world of difference. Give back, win big, be the difference, be greater than your greatest excuse. Support Project Transition today. Become a gym member and help turn obstacles into opportunities. Now that turned into they had to be on two different shows. So what's the other show? It's the one with Paul Pierce, Keyshawn Johnson. They split from Undisputed to join Joy Taylor at Speak. Now all of them have been relegated to the dustbin of history. That's their words, not mine. Here's the point. So now they got two different shows, so that's where they went. Joy separated from Emmanuel Acho. That's why there's so much collateral damage. If they were all on the same show, then fewer firings, etc. So what's next for FS1? Where does this network go from here? With a year of failed television shows, lawsuits, sex scandals, and high-profile departures now behind them, does the network take a big swing once again? Yeah, they do. Do they concede defeat? No, they don't. Or do they try a different route altogether? Let's talk through it. FS1 takes another big swing. This is one of the things. They're paying Tom Brady all that money. We ain't going to go through every word, right? We already know that. Now, they want to get something big going in the NBA. ESPN's NBA studio coverage been trying to compete with TNT. See, this is the problem. FS1 Daily trying to compete with ESPN Daily. And you're probably not. I mean, on top of them having better shows collectively, like I would say, even though they have more. But Colin and FS1 having First Things First, good luck trying to beat that. But you got First Take over here, right? And you got Get Up over here, big dogs. So you're trying to compete with that. But then they're trying to compete when they're ESPN's NBA coverage with TNT. And here's the thing, like I said in the beginning, stop trying to compete with them. Just be yourself. Anyway, let's get into this. They're never going to catch TNT's coverage to the point where they had to license it out and say, let's just buy your coverage, right? We're not going to compete with you anymore. We'll just pay for you guys, okay? So that's what that whole paragraph is about. So here we go. FS1 isn't going to just license or simulcast ESPN's program. They're not going to do that. So to make an impact with more former ESPN personalities, they hope something sticks. So 2 names, Max Kellerman, Tony Reali. Conversations being had. Kellerman has hardly been seen. We know now he's doing a Canelo Crawford fight. And other than that, there is some other stuff coming up with my big dog, and we'll see when that lands. So here's one thing about this space right now, this time right now, because Danny Parsons is going through this right now. You can't really talk about something that's not done yet because it's going to really, Danny Parkins, I said Parsons, really mess with your money. Danny Parkins can't even tell you what he's doing next, but he's doing something next with FS1. That's all he can say. And that's all I will say because I don't want to mess with his money and some damn clip I did that got 100 and some thousand views is not worth him losing millions of dollars. You see what I'm saying? So can't go there for Danny Parkins. Can't go there for Max Kellerman. Can't go there for Tony Reali. We'll go here. Something's happening. Okay, let's see what that is. So just imagine you can see those kind of things happen on the network. They got to reshuffle the deck. 3 shows out of 5 are gone. 60% of their daily lineup gone. I will talk about like big things that are happening with entities. I will do that because the entity can survive it. It could take the hits, but the individual, that's not fair. That's not right. Protect the guilty. Simulcast route, the volume. Okay, I'm gonna sum all this up because I know all of this right now. When one of the plays that they had, so imagine you already have your daily show, Undisputed. Manager when the Undisputed was there, they were starting to say, no, we need y'all to have podcasts. That's where Club Shay Shay comes from, right? We need y'all to have podcasts. Skip Bayless had his show, right? And they were filming them in the building, and they started to just roll those out. But those didn't go as well because Club Shay Shay, the biggest one, left and went to the volume when they let him go, et cetera. And he had it with Fox. He had to go to the volume. And Skip's is not doing as well, but Skip took his with him as well. So the point is, they have to look at simulcasting. They've always wanted to do 2 things. 1, what they did with the podcast and Shay Shay and all that. But 2, they wanted to repurpose those podcasts and put them on the network. So imagine instead of seeing Club Shay Shay on YouTube, you were going to see it on FS1. They were talking about that when I was there. Right? So they were like, do a show, do a podcast, and then we'll put the podcast on, and we'll start in the summer months. We'll start during the dead season, and then they'll see what happens. So there's a huge play for internal people who have podcasts, whoever that is left. And that's Colin. Oh, sorry, we got the volume. That's Nick Wright and all those cats on this show. Sorry. Wiles, and they're not going to do it. I mean, Wiles doesn't even have a podcast, so it's not going to be that. Chris Broussard doesn't have a podcast, does he? He used to, kind of like. So, who? The new cats. They're going to maybe some of the new cats or the next level, which is license it out, kind of like get other people to do it. So, they were talking about FanDuel. We've seen the reports now, Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy. Hey, we want you to do Big Noon, but we want some of your content to play on FS1. So, imagine FS1, reimagine it. It's going to be podcasts on FS1. It's going to be new shows and podcasts lacing that whole daily program. And then they talk about throwing in the towel. This is an interesting paragraph. I will read it because it's kind of dark. Final option for FS1 is admitting defeat and accepting that the network only exists as a vehicle for live sports and that it is and will realistically be, can I read? Keep the network afloat for as long as it is able to do so. Fox has zigged while the industry has zagged in recent years, delaying the launch of a streaming service and committing to linear television. Remember that streaming service they had, that big conglomerate, ESPN, Warner Brothers Discovery partnership that went down? So Fox is going at it alone with a new Fox One platform containing the entire library, sports, news, entertainment content. Okay. Sports content that would normally be seen on FS1 soon to be available on streaming. How much longer can FS1 justify existence as a standalone channel with the vultures circling around the cable world? Maybe a more piercing question is just how strong the FS1 rights portfolio truly is these days, with a few MLB postseason games, some college football and basketball, and NASCAR races here and there. This weekend, they got IndyCar and basketball tournament. Neither will draw huge numbers, right? So y'all got to remember, we did a video about this. Streaming viewership for the first time, I think it was April, May, now surpassed linear viewing for the first time. That means cats on their phones, Cats going direct to like non-traditional media, linear cable. Nah, we are now looking at you guys through the streaming. Finally surpassed like normal ways of viewing. Isn't that crazy? So that's mean, you know what that means? That means the money's coming that way. That means the advertiser sponsor is going to continue to flood that way. That means more people. The layoffs, cats going to land on their feet because now they're going to be in the independent digital space, right? So they talked about that. If Fox throws in the towel on original programming, how much longer will it truly be before they do the same with the entire network? Doomsday scenario right here. Maybe a few years before we get there, but the eventual shuttering of FS1 is more likely than finding a daytime lineup that can do the one thing the network was created to do in competing with ESPN. Okay, now it's dark. I don't believe that. So summation of all that, what they wrote, because they did a great job of writing that. Now, I didn't do a great job reading it, but it was a great job of what they were saying. Long story short, FS1 has been trying to connect the dots and keep pace, if not surpass ESPN. And even when they looked like they were going to keep pace or at least close that gap, things happen, right? Human behavior, social behavior, issues, Skip and Shannon, whatever happened there. We already talked about that before, not to rehash. Colin and his new play and the volume and how that changes things and his leverage to the point where he like, look, I can do what I want to do. Oh, y'all going to build me a facility in Chicago and set up my office? Okay, yeah, I thought so. And Nick Wright and them coming to LA. No, we're going to stay in New York. Okay, we're going to have the best show on the network. Now, Danny Parkins, we got to let everybody go. Danny, come here. You ain't going nowhere. Maybe Keyshawn as well. That's the point. So they're reimagining everything, trying to keep pace with ESPN. The thing is, right now, they are not. So that's a conversation. There will be new names on the network that are old faces. We know that. I'm not going to mess with their money, but you know what it is. And that's the game. It's weird because it's now you're trying to keep up with ESPN, but ESPN trying to keep up with these podcasters and cats on the internet. So it's like this weird world. Like, it's like almost when LeBron went back to Cleveland. And he went back to Cleveland because he was like, yo, I got to design this team that's got to deal with the Spurs. And then they were looking at each other, quietly through all their moves and maneuvers. I'm going to go get, instead of Dwayne Wade, I'm going to get Kyrie. And then I'm going to be better than the Spurs. So we're going to run them boys and all that stuff. And then Golden State said, yoo-hoo. Podcasters are like, yoo-hoo, ESPN, FF1. So here's another thing. All the smoke is in conversation. When I talked about, bringing on content, bringing on podcasts to just fill up their day. Yep. That's another play as well. You can see Barstool. You can see, I think, all the smoke and those names and faces that we all just talked about. So it's wild out here right now. Real stuff. Okay. So now, what we do on this show, boy, to talk through everything we just went through. We flow, boy. But before we do that, we make sure we hook you guys up. So I'm stuck right now on my thing. There we go. I want you guys to make sure that you are not in debt. And what do I say debt? I mean, you really got some issues. Like your money is looking funny. And no one wants to be in that position where you can't take the kids to Chuck E. Cheese, can't take the lady out where she belongs, which is in the streets with her man hanging. So instead of doing all that, you know what I'm about to do? I'll hook you guys up if I could get this right. There you go. Bam. That QR code right there. Bam, that number right there. Bam, that website right there is how you become debt-free, right? If you got medical debt, you got credit card debt, what kind of debt you got? Oh, man, I got student loan debt. Who doesn't have that debt? Personal debt, man. I was flying out to L.A. to go see the facility debt. And where they at? Where Outro and all them guys' debt, right? You spent your money and they're not there anymore. I'll make this even bigger for you guys. Make sure you call Monitor Debt Resolution at 866-204-0071 or go to the website and you can be like my man Robert. Now, who is Robert? Robert is a grad student who was in debt, because all grad students are, but now he's going to have a financial plan that sets him debt free. Monitor Debt Resolution. Thousands of you have called. Thank you. Y'all rock with your boy. I got high engagement rate over here. Everyone says that I have like the highest engagement rate. I don't have the most subscribers. That's y'all fault. But I do have the highest engagement rate. That's us. So make sure you guys go there, Monitor Debt Resolution, for your financial wellness solution. Check the link in my description for your financial wellness prescription. That's monitor debt resolution. Okay. And I always got to make sure, since you guys are hooking up and rocking with me, I got to make sure you guys go all the way and leave your email there, projecttransition.org, leave a donation, or become a gym member like Daniel Morales. And Daniel Morales has this book. It's signed, sealed, and delivered. It's yours. So I want to make sure you get yours as well. Now, the part of the show that is so interesting, because as much as people love me rapping, there's a lot of people that love to hate me rapping. They be like, stop rapping. And I never will. And we're going to get into this, because the rap is the best part for me, because it can make me act gangster and funny, which I love to be, and also sum it all up, right? So a lot of people just want to hear the raps. So I'm here for the smoke. So you know what we do on this show, boy. We flow, boy. Oh, listen to it, dude. Listen to it. That's it right there. That's it. That's the track. Watch me drop it. Become a gym member. Oh, you're not supposed to do that. There you go. Hey, hey. Ooh. I love this. Let's go get this thing. I got to turn this thing on repeat too. Okay. What we gonna call this one? Gangster, gangster. Front door karma. From gangster, gangster. I tried to warn you, gangster, gangster. You know what happened? Gangster, gangster. I'ma tell you, boy, listen to me rapping. FS1, clean house, bodies on the floor. Fired the whole squad, showing folks the door. Joy, Acho, Charlie got it popping off. Now the whole damn office feeling them layoffs. Yeah, karma don't miss. It take a little time. Backstabbing folks, you're gonna pay for that crime. Smile on the Zoom, but snakes on the screen. Now it's ghost town vibes. No lights, no team. FS1 tried to play God with the rosters. Then lawsuits came, boom, lost the sponsors. Charlie dropped dimes, not the good kind either. Joy sipping tea like she ain't pulled that lever. Acho out here writing think pieces in caps, but behind the scenes, bruh was setting up traps. They thought they was building a media throne, but now all that's left is a dusty desk phone. Ratings in the gutter, vibes in the trash. Whole squad got axed with no parachute crash. Acho said uncomfortable convo, no lie. Now it's unemployment lines outside. Yeah, move like sharks in a kiddie pool. Thought they was winning, playing corporate cool. Backstab a homie, then flex for the gram. Don't be surprised when you part of that scam. God dang. Woo-hoo-hoo. I ain't done. Hell nah. I started so late, I got to do that again. Oh, that felt good. Oh, man. Y'all want some more? Let me get this thing right. Let me produce my own show. Master beat, bro. That was sick. That was sick. Let's do it again. Okay. Ooh. I like the beginning. Y'all like the beginning? Peep the beginning out. Watch this. Sound like, what did he say? Taco Man? He said, I gotta go call the Taco Man. What is it? Oh, okay. Let's go get that thing again. Ooh. I like this thing. Woo! Let's go get that thing. All right. Hey, yo, you play dirty games, now you're out the league. Trying to cancel folks, now you begging to leave. Backdoor moves got a front door twist. FS1 looking like a do not hire list. So if you ever scheming in the conference room, just remember karma, knock knock, coming soon. You know what happens when you got the gun, then the rabbit takes it and it ain't no fun. Tried to flex behind the scenes, Tried to lie and sell some dreams, But first you was acting like we was cool and got on air and looked at me, snake, you the fool. Ooh, what's next? You don't know. You can't flex, you can't go where you want to. That's how it is when cats act fake. They be outside acting like they got cake, but they don't really make it. They just fake it. And somebody on the other side comes and take it. And then you looking out there, you naked. What happened? Oh, you was fake. Shit. Oh, that boy hard. I mean, I'm the only one standing in the yard. I don't need nobody. I don't have no squad. But I tell you one thing, boy. This is Marcellus Wiley with an urgent message for anyone struggling with over $10,000 in credit card debt. Here's what you need to do right now. Visit pt.monitordebt.com. They've helped thousands reduce what they owe by dealing directly with creditors, cutting balances by 30, 40, even 50%. This isn't a loan. This is a proven debt settlement program where you make affordable monthly deposits while they do the heavy lifting. Many clients become debt-free in 24 to 48 months. Don't wait another day drowning in interest. Call 866-204-0071 or visit pt.monitordebt.com. Your financial freedom is waiting. It's just one phone call away. It's been a decade plus that I knew that this day was going to come.
Oh, this is not hyperbole here. Because I think the
Time to hydrate. Hydration's the situation, so